webinar on Neptune's water treatment products. Before we get started, here are a few housekeeping items. A PDF copy of the presentation can be found in the handout section of the GoToWebinar console. After the session has ended, you'll receive an email containing a copy of the recording of this webinar within 24 hours. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please send them through the question feature on the GoToWebinar console and we'll review them at the end of the presentation. Lastly, don't forget to check out the rest of the webinars for Neptune, which will be provided in the chat window. Thank you and enjoy today's webinar. Tim, go ahead.
Hello and welcome to Neptune's water treatment products presentation today. Thank you for joining. We'll be going through the water treatment products that we have available. And like Christine said, if you have any questions, we'll review them and at the end of the presentation. Thank you. The bypass feeders. Bypass feeders is one of the more popular items that we have on the water treatment side. We have bypass and filter types. They're a convenient way of introducing chemicals into closed circulating water systems. You're basically removing the top cap and you're introducing the chemical into the tank and letting the water that's in the system flush it through the tank and into the system. We have a few different types. We have the DB types, which have a bottom drain and also have mounting legs. The mounting legs can be anchored to the floor, where the HP models are a dish bottom in, where they're mounted to the floor. These particular feeders also have optional filter kits. They are limited to 30 micron bags because these are designed generally to feed chemicals, but there are instances where filters can be used or are required. And while they're in the system, and we can have these available if needed. But again, they are limited to 30 micron bag sizes. The volumes that we have are 2, 5, 10, and 12 gallon designs. And the maximum pressure of the vessel is 300 PSI. The filter feeders are just like bypass feeders. They can introduce chemicals into the system through the top cap. But with these particular units, we can also filter the water that's in the system with the, as you can see here, the stainless steel dissolving basket. That's where the filter bags get installed into. The bags are easily accessible through the top portion where the cap is. The dissolving bag can be removed easily, and the bag can be inserted into the basket. The basket can also be used for dissolving tablets, just dropping them into the basket and letting the water flow take and dissolve those tablets. The ring tops are easily handled so they can remove the basket. These also have DB types where they have the legs that mount to the floor with also a drain at the bottom of the vessel. We also have a 5150 HP type, which has oversized connections that can be used to clean up systems with high volume pumps. And it'd be a fast flush out prior to startup. Specifications: 2, 5, and 10 gallon designs. Again, 300 PSI maximum. Filter bags available: 1, 5, 20, 50 micron sizes. We also have a cartridge filter available. It's in the DBFC model, which looks like this particular model here, except for it would be a cartridge filter version. and they are limited to 5 and 20 micron sizes. We have bromine feeders. Bromine feeders are just like a bypass feeder. You're feeding through the water line into the system. It's a convenient way to properly feed solids, solid biocides, and corrosive water treatment chemicals. They can be, there's different types, feed rates, meaning how much tablets you can actually put into the vessel, for anywhere from 2.5 to 230 pounds per day. It has a bottom drain, and that bottom drain is down here. That comes with the optional piping kit that you can get with the unit. The top opening has a threaded closure, which is up on top. Each of these tanks get a wrench, which is it's a fitted wrench that can take and remove this enclosure with ease. They're rated up to 150 psi at 150 degrees Fahrenheit. We have the optional accessories, which are PVC piping, which you can see here. We also have flow indicators, which indicates how much flow is actually going through the unit. And we have pressure relief valves and solenoid valves available. Relief valves are really required with these vessels because everything is plastic and it's low pressure. You don't want to have any overpressurizing in the system, so relief valves are required. Sample coolers. Sample coolers are generally used in boiler applications where when the boiler is being treated, the water needs to be tested. And we have what we call sample coolers that can take in a sample from the boiler and cool that sample down. We have 3 different versions, which is the SC316 and the SC600, which is a all welded construction, meaning you can't take it apart. We have baffles. They each have baffles. It transfers the heat to cool down the sample properly. That's a maximum pressure of 3,500 psi, and they're available in 316 or Inconel with 316 shell. The SC100, which is this blue one here, is a cleanable design. It has a retainer ring on the top where you can easily remove and pull out this tubing, which the coils that are on the inside where your sample goes through can be pulled out and cleaned. And it's a good unit if the sampling or the coolant that's being used is not good quality, because scaling can happen on the coil where it needs to be cleaned. If scaling happens, it acts like a insulator, and it doesn't cool down the sample properly. And these have a maximum pressure of 1,500 psi at 600 degrees Fahrenheit, and they're available with a carbon steel shell and a 3/16 coil. High pressure injection quills incorporation stops. When injecting chemicals into a water line, it is recommended to have a quill or an injector to properly disperse the chemical into the line. And these 2 items here, the injection quill, which is a fixed piece that goes into a line that can inject the chemical into the pipe. These quills have capabilities up to 3,000 psi. It does come standard with a loaded check valve, a spring-loaded check valve. And we have it with different materials available, PVC, Kynar, 3/16 and Carpenter 20. And we also have special lengths. Another way to disperse is what we call corporation stops, which is, this is not a fixed quill like the injection quill up here. This can be used, and it's a retractable quill, where these are generally used when the system can't be stopped, or the water line cannot be shut down. These corporation stops are used in what we call a hot tap. A hot tap is, just the description would be like a saddle going around a pipe, and the bronze valve would be installed on the saddle, where the hot tap, which is a drill basically going through our valve and cutting a hole into the pipe while still the system's in use. And when the hole is drilled and pulled out, you can shut off this valve and pull out your hot tap, and then you can put our quill back into the valve, open up the valve, and put it right into the system. They are limited at 150 psi, available in CPVC, Kynar, stainless steel, and Carpenter 20. And the size is anywhere from 1/2, 3/4, and 1 inch process connections. We also have stainless steel corporation stops, and if that's needed, bronze is standard. And we also have special lengths available. Back pressure relief valves. Relief valves are a requirement for most applications. Safety device for the piping that's in the system. These are used when there's systems needed to protect either the piping or the pump. Generally, some pumps have what they call internal relief valves to protect the pump. We always require not only that protection for the pump, we also have the external relief valves for protection of the piping. The relief valves range from 30 psi to 2,000 psi. Materials, stainless steel, Carpenter 20, Kynar, and PVC. Now the pictured relief valve here is made in the 3/16 and Carpenter 20 design. The Kynar and PVC models look like the back pressure valves to your right. And the sizes are 1/2 inch to 2 inches, and are also field adjustable. Back pressure valves are required generally when there's a pumping situation where it's going into a low pressure situation. Pumps generally need back pressure to operate properly, so back pressure valves are required. Back pressure valves just is a device that restricts the flow that's coming through the valve to put back pressure back against the pump. The materials we have in these are 3/16 stainless, Carpenter 20, Kynar, and PVC. Same size as 1/2 inch to 2 inches, and they're also field adjustable. Calibration columns are an easy way to measure the flow of your pump in the system. It's also a convenient way to troubleshoot your pump. When I say troubleshooting a pump, generally the flow will come down in straight shots down through the column. And seeing the actual flow coming down can tell you sometimes when a check valve is not holding properly and start to bounce inside the cylinder. And I always try to mention this just because it's just not a measuring tool. It's also a maintenance or a troubleshooting tool used for pumps. Standard calibration columns come in PVC constructions with the slip-on top, which this top can be removed and cleaned out without removing the column from the piping. We also, it has the shielded glass models we also have the shielded glass models available for acids and strong chemicals. Calibration scales are protective from harsh chemicals by a mylar lamination. We have models from anywhere from 100 cc's to 4,000. We also have larger models available. Pulsation dampeners. Dampeners are generally used with positive displacement pumps. The stroking of the pump causes an energy going through piping that can cause vibration. And generally, when you want to eliminate these pulsations from your piping and the vibration, dampeners are used. The dampeners are generally installed right at the exit of the pump, and it stops the pulsation up to 95% of that pump's pulsation. It basically has a bladder on the upside of the unit, and the unit's charged from the top portion, and when the energy comes through the bottom, it absorbs that pulsation coming into the dampener. They're equipped with pressure gauges and a charging valve. The charging valve is there for the charging of the top portion of the unit. The unit is generally charged at 80% of the discharge pressure. Easy inline maintenance. You can see that it's flanged where they can be easily removed, or the bladder can be easily removed for either troubleshooting or replacement. We do have pressure ratings up to 4,000 psi. They are limited at 4,000 psi to 12 and 24 cubic inch pipes. Variety of materials, anywhere from PVC, stainless steel, alloy 20 are available. We also have charging kits. Charging kits is a device that really connects to the top portion of the valve and to your air supply. So you can contact us if you're interested in that. And they also have the ranges of the plastic metals and elastomers. Glycol feeders. Glycol feeders are designed to add additions of glycol solution into a closed loop, chilled or hot water. It automatically maintains pressure in the loop by adding glycol, which leakage losses are generally, when losses happen in the system, the glycol feeder can replenish that leakage to replenish the pressure in the system. We have two different versions. We have the sturdier or the more popular G series, which comes with your 4X panel, a NEMA 4X panel with a pressure switch that activates. You can see the pressure switch is here and your outlet comes out this way into the system. These are generally set standard at 12 psi to turn on the pump when leakage occurs and shut off at 30 psi. This has other ranges beyond that that can be field adjustable. And if this version pressure switch doesn't satisfy your needs, we can source other pressure gauges to do that, up to 100 psi. The unit comes with a 50-gallon tank, pressure gauge, pressure switch, and the bronze rotary gear pump, which comes standard at a 1.5 GPM, and the larger version is a 3 GPM. The economy type, as you can see, it doesn't have a steel stand. It's a standalone tank. And it has all the features that the larger one does, except it's compact in the pump and in the piping, as you can see here. It does have an expansion tank. Expansion tanks act like a pulsation dampener, kind of smooths the flow. Chem feed systems, these are the economy types that we have. We have a ST30 and 50, as you can see, standalone tank with a E economy pump on top. You can also put solenoid pumps on here with a little lab agitator. We also have the 50 PT300, also an E pump down below with a L or a lab type mixer available. And the MT30, again, E pump, comes with all the piping, base, and 30-gallon tank, along with agitator. And I wanted to show you our website, tsgdover.com, Neptune, where you can access all the water treatment products. You can see the headers up here, water and wastewater solutions, and it gives you the products, where you can see the filter feeders and bypass feeders, bromine feeders, and glycol feeders. The systems, what we just saw, and the accessories. Perforation stops, relief valves, pulsation dampeners, cal columns, back pressure valves, and sample coolers. And you can hit any of those links. It will take you to that particular page. You can actually get the O&M that's here. And we also have downloads, which is the sample cooler flyers. And you can get any of this information on any of the products that we just discussed. Well, thank you for attending.